Well, hello and welcome to this month's live critique. Hope you're all doing well. And how are you, Tom and Matt? Doing well?
Yeah, all good, thanks, mate. Not too bad.
Good, good.
Yourself,
Yeah, not
Matt?
too bad. Not too bad. And Matt, I think
Yeah.
the talk went well, mate. Your talk went well.
Yeah. Can you hear me okay? Yeah.
Yeah, I can now.
So
Yeah,
I
mate.
didn't do a test beforehand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Went well, thanks, mate. All good.
That's good. Good.
Yeah, I don't have a problem in talking, so as you know
Well,
that.
yeah, I know that. Yeah. Oh, that's
It's making sense. It's different. Talking is easy.
And you, Tom, how's it been going, mate?
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, not too bad. I've been enjoying going out and just being free with it.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
Good.
mate. Yeah, cheers. All good. All good. Thanks, mate. What about you? What have you been up to?
Oh, just preparing for workshops and things like that coming up. So workshop coming up this weekend. That's the start of them for the next 2 months. So the next 2 months is kind of rammed, to be honest.
Yeah, fair
So
play.
just getting prepared for those, really.
Mm.
So getting on to the submissions we've had for this month, and we've had quite a lot this month. It's been great to see the amount of submissions we've had, actually, and some really nice quality ones as well. I
Yeah,
feel when we've been looking through, there's been some really nice submissions and some new people submitting as well, which is good to see.
yeah, definitely. I noticed they've been coming like the last couple of days. There's been some new ones as well, hasn't there?
Yeah, and that's good. It's good to see it's kind of progressing, and there's more and more people getting on board. There's quite a lot of UK people getting in there as well now. I've noticed, which is good to see.
Yeah.
So I'm going to fire off with the first one, and these were. Good evening, Tristan. How you doing, mate?
Everybody all right?
We'll get on to the first image now. I'm just going to pick one from middle randomly.
Here we go.
And this one was Josh Mainker, and this was in the Mourne Mountains in Ireland. And the subject of this month was foregrounds in the landscape. And yeah, really, really nice sort of addition to that sort of theme, I think, with the heather and everything and the lovely texture in the rock on this. What are your thoughts, guys?
Yeah, well, it certainly fits the brief, eh?
Good evening, Josh, by the way. He's just
good evening, buddy. And Brian's on as well. Timothy.
And Timothy Crabtree and Brian Nicholson. Good evening, guys. Nice for you to join us.
Yeah, it's nice to get interaction in the live in the chat, isn't it?
Yeah, it does. It makes all the difference. It makes our job a lot easier.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lovely shot, eh? It's an interesting perspective, isn't it, as well?
Yeah, that low perspective.
Yeah, it's quite striking because obviously it's not your normal. It's not your normal perspective, is it?
No.
So it's quite impactful. And obviously a nice leading line. Plenty of colour and drama in that sky as well. Sort of end you up down at the top there. So
it's nice to see the heather blooming.
Yeah, it's nice to see a bit of colour and drama and a bit of colour and a bit of doom and gloom up there, isn't it? It's in the same image.
Yeah,
I
really like it. Your thoughts, Matt?
Yeah, I really like it. I like the way that you've got this. If you look bang smack in the middle at the very bottom of the frame, you see this curve in the crack.
Yeah.
And it's bang smack in the middle, and it just perfectly leads you right up into that mountain. That path goes all the way up into the mountain there, right up into that storm. I think it works really, really well. I like it. It's utilised the light and the mood really well. Post-production's really subtle. Nothing's been sort of overdone too much.
No, it's pretty natural, isn't it? It's pretty natural.
Yeah. You can appreciate it for that, can't you? That's it is just a nice natural shot. Yeah, no, I really, really like it. It's very, very well balanced image. The composition's pretty much spot on. The thirds have been really well respected in this image. It's a vertical image, so you've got the top third, which you've got the skyline, and it ticks all the boxes, doesn't it? Really?
Yeah, I think so. And the square crop works really well.
Yeah. You probably could probably drag a tad more detail out into that sky, maybe just a little bit, just to make it just a tad more dramatic. But at the same time, it works quite on subtly too. Would have been nice, obviously, but you can't change that, can you? You know, having a little bit of light on the actual landscape itself. You know, it's very dull throughout the whole entire scene, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you know that's you can't control that. I mean,
no. I mean that light just would kind of lift the flatness in the lower section of the frame, I guess. It was just because but as I say, when you've got overcast skies like that, it is quite difficult to.
But I mean, there is a break in those clouds, and maybe I don't know. Only Josh could tell us this. Maybe if you waited a little bit longer, with a little bit of that break, would have relieved some very, very subtle light, some dappled light onto that. Maybe that middle ground there. I don't know, but yeah, I like it. Like it. It's a nice subtle image. We've got Josh writing up here. My plan was a shoot from the top of the mountain, but the cloud closed in, so I gave up and started walking down the hill. I gave one look back up and saw this shot and took it handheld. Now you've done well, mate.
Yeah, done well handheld. Crikey.
Yeah. It's come out really, really well. I like that, Josh. Well done, mate.
Yeah, it is a lovely shot.
Fits the brief nicely.
Yeah. Like I said, it's nice. It's quite refreshing to see. Like you said, I do agree with you, Matt. It would have been tempting to sort of dramatize, sort of darken that sky a little bit more, but it's quite refreshing to see it like that. Like I said, it's like you said, the editing's very even across from top to bottom, isn't it?
Look, I think the image probably would have benefited from a focus stack because we do have the immediate foreground that's quite in our face there, and you can say that the foreground is slightly soft.
Yeah,
I mean, at least it is. I'm looking at on we've got a WhatsApp group, guys, that we put our images up onto, but I mean, WhatsApp's changed now, so we've got high image resolution on WhatsApp now as compared to what we did have up until a fortnight ago. So I'm seeing the image is half decent resolution. And it is definitely soft in the foreground there. So you did handheld it and probably would have benefited from a focus stack, I would say. Or maybe just focusing on your first third of the frame and then just accepting the fact that the background's going to be a little bit soft, but that's okay, isn't it?
Yeah, of course.
That's what our eye sees anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's it. And that would have just kind of added to the whole natural feel of it anyway. So, good evening, George. Good to see you, mate. Glad you've joined us again tonight.
Good to see all three of you gathered again. What have we been separate, have we?
Yeah, well, apparently, yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Separated. You got the kids. Hey?
Yeah, this is it. So, just want to remind you, so for next month, we're going to have the theme of autumn colour as we're heading into the season, or at least some of us are heading into the season. So we're going to go with autumn colour. So if you want to submit those images to the official Outdoor Photography Guide Facebook group, like you have been with these images, that would be fantastic. And use the hashtag OPG Critique. We'd love to see those images start coming in for next month.
Is that your favourite season, Paul?
Autumn. Do you know, I find myself changing as time goes by, which I think we all do as photographers. But yeah, I love autumn. Just, but I guess it depends on what for. If it's more for woodland, then obviously autumn, yeah. But if it's more in landscape, the autumn color in the landscape is kind of a love-hate thing with me, to be honest. I like those sort of browns and everything, but everything starts to die back and loses a bit of life for me at that time of year. But in woodland and forests, definitely, yeah. And landscape.
What about you,
Tom? Obviously, it's nice to see something other than green. I'm a bit of a. I tend to like a bit of like now, like early autumn, because you still got some greens in there. It offers you a little bit more. As opposed to sort of mid to end, everything really dies back, and me being in woodland mainly, the woods open up quite a bit, so it's quite hard to find something that's not drab, or if the skies are obviously more of a problem, because everything's sort of open, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm more of an early autumn and spring, I would say, as opposed to full blown autumn. But yeah, I'm a bit like Paul. It sort of changes depending on my menstrual cycle.
What about you, mate? Is autumn your thing as well?
No, to be honest with me, oh God, it's not for me. It's not about the colours. It's about the light and what the light offers with each season. I think early spring is always really, really nice because you have these two sort of these high and low pressure systems fighting up against each other. So you get lots of storms. You get lots of morning, mist.
Mists,
I kind of like. For me, it's all about the light. I mean, whatever the actual landscape presents in colour is fantastic. But if it's got no light on it, for me, I'm not interested. So, as I was saying with Josh's image before, beautiful image, but where's the light on the landscape? For me, that's fundamental. If there's nothing on there, I'm not interested in it. For me personally, that's what I seek. So it's about what the actual season does itself, and summer is great too. But you have to be up in the mountains. You have to be over 2,000 meters to appreciate summer.
Yeah, exactly.
So it all depends on where you are, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, you get a lot of people that say, "Oh, summer photography, it's awful." Well, no, it's not. It just depends on what you actually want to do with it. That's the difference. That's right. No season's bad. It's just if you're willing to go and change the way you go and photograph, there's always something to do, eh?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
definitely.
yeah, 100%.
Just with a tip with autumn, and I've learnt this the hard way. People, if you're going to go out and start shooting for next month's critique, you might already have images, but if you are going to go out, just be very careful of the rain. Now, if you're getting into early autumn, it's okay, but if you're getting into mid-autumn and then you're going to get lots of rain coming in, the chances are that rain's going to knock all the leaves off the trees. Yeah. So be careful that one.
Exactly. And storms, which what we've got tonight here, it's absolutely blown a hoolie tonight, and it just takes for this colour to start coming on the trees, and then you get a storm, and that's it, game over. And it tends to happen quite often up here.
Oh,
you start to get the real nice colour coming, and then all of a sudden, storm gone.
Yeah, definitely. I used to find that when I lived in Bude in Cornwall. There wasn't really. It was 2 seasons. It was summer or winter.
Yeah,
because it's just always windy all the time.
Yeah.
Amount of times you'd think, I'll go to the woods tomorrow or whatever, and it's gone in the morning.
Yeah.
Bit of a bummer.
Did you get your eyebrows plucked, Tom?
Do I?
Yeah.
No, why? Does it look like it?
Yeah, it does from here. Yeah.
No, I don't actually. I got red.
Still I'd ask you that one.
Is that guy liner you've got going on there?
Hey. Yeah. Use code Tom.
If you wake up in the morning, you got one of your hairs on your eyebrows that is like 7 feet long, and it grew like that much overnight. And you go, what the happened? Let's cut that one.
That's called age, mate.
That's age, but yeah, like it grows like a foot overnight. Anyway, getting back to photography.
So, Brian.
Squirrel.
Yeah, squirrel. Brian says, been on that already. It's all happening in Scotland now. I'm heading on a workshop with Colin Pryor to Ardnamurchan in October. Oh, that sounds amazing, mate. Hope you have
it really does.
Yeah.
Hope you have a good one. Yeah, the colour's starting here as well. I'm just
good old Colin Pryor, huh? He's still cruising around, is he?
He's still on the go. On the go. Right, so I'm going to pick another image now. And again, I just want to remind you for next month, please use the hashtag OPG Critique, and it's going to be autumn colour for next month, as we've been discussing there. So get those images submitted to the official Outdoor Photography Guide Facebook group, please. Right, we're gonna pick old Theo Lawrence's image now. Bring that one up, and there we go.
G'day, Theo. If you're on, mate.
Yeah, how's it going, Theo? Hope you're well. I like this. Yeah, I like this image.
It's so different, isn't it? To the obviously to the last image.
Yeah.
What time of year do you reckon that is?
It's difficult to tell.
Yeah, because they're evergreens on the right, aren't they? So
yeah, and this thing that looks like some sort of rhododendron or something on the on the right there.
It does.
Yeah, it's difficult to tell.
Yeah, it is difficult to tell. Probably. No, you can't tell, can you?
Late
Not really.
Something like that, possibly. I don't know.
Yeah, there's nothing in there to really tell us, is there?
No. Nice, simple image though. It's nice. It's got nice layers going back with the mountains there as well.
Yeah, look. I think there's lots going on in the foreground, isn't there? But
it's busy in the foreground, let's say. But it always is with rocks and what have you going on like that.
I think that what is distracting in this is that log on the right hand side, because it doesn't go anywhere, does it?
Well, it's pointing you out of the frame towards the left, and I think that's what doesn't help.
Doesn't help. It doesn't help that that's there, and then you've got these branches from this tree in the immediate foreground that's sort of coming across into your frame on the right hand side. That sort of doesn't really have a place, does it? It's cut off too much to make any sense in the frame itself, I think. It might benefit from a crop.
Yeah.
But then again, if you cropped it, then you would crop out that mountain peak at the top on the right-hand side there, which is quite nice, isn't it?
Yeah. Nice shape about it.
This would be a perfect case of you'd have to just reposition yourself on field, wouldn't you? Maybe step over that rock and get more of a simple foreground. Yeah. I like the way that he's tried to give it a bit of heavier contrast in the foreground. You know, it's closer to us, isn't it? So it's a bit clearer, maybe a little bit too much. But yeah, it's a nice scene, that's for sure, Theo. Be interesting to know where it is.
Yeah, well, it's I have a feeling. Hang on a minute, see if I can find out where it was. Glacier National Park. There you go.
Glacier National.
Oh, right.
Okay.
Yeah. It's nice.
Yeah.
There's something going on over here now. I'm not quite sure what it is.
On the left,
on this right hand side, just here, where it looks as though there's water actually splashed up onto the rock, which is quite novel. It looks flat calm.
on the left hand side, you mean?
Just can you see if I point the cursor over here?
No, I can't see your cursor, mate.
No, you can't see it, eh?
No.
That's annoying.
Certainly. Well, no, we've been wanting to tell you that for the last 97 lives we've done, but we just
is it not showing, eh? That's weird.
No. We probably should have told you 96 episodes ago. But
it would have been a help. It would have been a help, really.
Yeah,
sorry about that one.
I'm pointing to things that you can't see. That's great.
Yeah, you always say, "Do you see over here?" And we're like, "Yep."
Yeah. I see it.
No, I can't see a frigging thing, mate.
Smile and wave, don't we? We just smile and wave.
Yeah,
that's it. Right. Anyway, over towards where the bush is on the right, there's a rock down on
bush on. There's a rock. Yeah, and there's this streakiness going on, isn't there?
And it looks
I don't know what that is.
No, it looks as though it's like a piece of water splashed up. But
and then you got over the left-hand side, the far left-hand side, just up a little bit. You got that rock that's sort of sitting on its own. You got that blotch above the rock.
Yeah.
I don't know if maybe Theo's tried to remove some things out of the image that maybe not should have been there, like, you know, a naked Yeti or I don't know, but I'm not quite sure what would have been in there that would have been distracting. You know, like a fish jumping out of the water or something.
Yeah.
But we're just being fussy now, aren't we? It'd be a great location to go back with some decent light. I think it's a bit too bright, but it's a good spot though, mate. Good spot.
Yeah,
You found it, and a good spot to go back and maybe take another shot. Simplify a little bit more that foreground.
Well, yeah, I think possibly if you'd actually, because looking over to the left, you can actually see down into the water and you can see the bottom of the lake.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I would have been tempted to use that more as foreground.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably what I would. Yeah.
Rather than all of this going on in the lower section of the image.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you see my cursor now? Yeah, you can see it now. Look.
Yeah, I can see it now.
There you go.
So Katie's just told me that if I'm out of full screen, you can see my cursor. So there you go.
Okay. Thanks for that, Katie.
George Cormanicki says the whiskey tends to taste better in the autumn. Oh, is that right? Cool.
Yeah.
Tastes good all the time to me, mate. And Josh says I would like either more or no bush in this photo. And I'm going to leave that one right there.
Yeah.
And Katie was just telling me that I can see where the cursor is down here. And as you can see the bottom of the lake. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I probably would have positioned myself further over here to eliminate all of this going down.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. For me, it's just like it's like two images because it's very subtle and soft and ethereal and painterly, and then Wallop, you got this grungy in your face foreground. It just needed to be a little bit more balanced for me, but it certainly is what a spot that is. I would love to have a little mooch around there.
Yeah, looks like a lovely place, mate. Definitely.
Yep. Brian says he likes the blue tones in the mountains. Yeah, they are nice, aren't they?
Yeah. That's what I like about the image more so than anything.
Gives you a sense of atmosphere, doesn't it?
Yeah, cold tones. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
so, just going to remind you again, next month is going to be Autumn Colour. So get your images submitted to the official Outdoor Photography Guide Facebook group using the hashtag OPG Critique.
Don't go to the beach and take photos because that's got nothing to do with autumn.
No. You
have to photograph trees to do that. Well, you can go to the beach and say, I took this photo in autumn, but...
Yeah, just take a leaf with you. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, but I mean, it can be...
Sticking on a rock.
Yeah, we haven't seen that before.
No.
But yeah, if you... it can be sort of things like that, intimate shots of leaves. It can be, forest scenes. It can be all of that. So yeah, get those images submitted.
It'll be a good one, I think.
Next one, I'm going to bring up this next image, which is Joe Vales.
G'day, Joe. How are you, mate?
I'm going to go full screen.
Yeah, beautiful.
And there you go.
Oh, yeah.
What do we like about this image? What do we like about this image? Tom, what do you like about this image, mate?
Reflections and the atmosphere, the light.
Yes,
there's a few different things. The light, really, because at the end of the day, like kind of what you said earlier, all that mist and fog isn't really anything, and if you can't see it or illuminated by that light, so them rays coming through,
it's all happening, isn't it? Huh?
Yeah, just lighting that mist is just. It just really emphasizes conditions at the time. Like he's really made the most of the conditions, which I admire.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, that is not an easy scene to shoot, is it?
Well, if you've got a good dynamic range in your camera,
good
lens. If you've got a decent lens, good dynamic range, you can pull that flare off quite well. But you need to have a good quality lens.
Yeah. But you see these sort of types of images so much that. Don't work as well as that. They just rush them. People panic, don't they? So it's nice to see something that's had a bit of thought, like compositionally as well. And he's sort of centered and mirrored everything quite nicely.
It's not centered.
No, but you know what I mean. But like,
it's
I mean, top to bottom, like it's mirrored, like you know what I mean, the horizon wise. Like it's even.
It's quite off center. It is. It's but it works though. Being off center. Probably the only thing that doesn't work is the horizon. See, the horizon's gone all wonky on the left hand side.
It's wonky,
yeah. That's due to the. I'll be interesting to know, Joe, what lens you used here, mate. What caused that horizon to really shift off on the on the left-hand side there. It's
I think-
noticeable. It's noticeably the water horizon, isn't it? It's definitely sunken down, hasn't it?
Well, I think it's a combination of things looking at it from here, because it looks as though it's also the shape that the fog's coming over the water has made it kind of almost look like it's bent as well.
It could be, but yeah.
Yeah.
I would definitely correct it. It's noticeable. It's distracting.
Yeah.
I think
Because if I just come out of that, if I just come out of full screen there, that point there sticks up in the air. That little point that's on the spit of land there.
Yeah.
It's kind of sticking right up in the air. So to me, it kind of would need to.
It's a lots of things there that can accumulate to that look, isn't it? Like, because from that point where Paul was around to the right, the bank obviously curves around towards him.
Yeah.
Which emphasizes it as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I know what you mean. When you stand back and look at it from a bit further away, it looks very fish-eyed, doesn't it?
Yeah, it gives you that perspective. Let's see if we can correct it. It'll be a good idea, Paul.
Yeah, I was just gonna go and have a look. Wrong one. Wrong one. No.
You'll get there, mate. It's one of them.
It's because I use a scroll wheel. I never use all this stuff here.
All this stuff here.
Yeah.
Might be the top one, mate.
No, that's tilting it back. No.
Jesus.
None of them. None of them. No.
I wouldn't know. I don't use Lightroom. I use Photoshop. So I would just go into Photoshop and either just I would just correct it with Liquify or horizon correction here. There is a way of doing it. It's been that long.
Yeah, there is. But even if you auto level it, it does weird stuff. So it's not even doing that, to be honest with you.
Yeah. If you noticeably just made a basic horizon correction there, mate. Just a simple one. Go into crop mode. Go into crop at the top there. And just flip it slightly.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's the one I was looking for.
There you go. Yeah, just bit more. Might be enough
to the left.
Yeah, off to the
Yeah, it's more level there anyway. This section here is more level, but then it makes this section go downhill even more.
Yeah, you kind of need to open it in Photoshop. I mean, there is a way in Lightroom. I actually don't.
It needs warped almost at this side, doesn't it, to kind of bring it back level.
Go down to the bottom. Go down. I want to see if your is your profile. Okay, enable profile correction. Go back up again. God, it sounds like I'm talking to the dog. Hang on, now you've gone too far. To profile corrections.
Just under the color saturation, the color wheels.
Dune.
Detail.
Keep going. There you go.
Stop. There you go. Okay. Will it recognize it? No, I won't recognize it because you just download off the internet.
Yeah,
normally that'll do it there. It'll recognize the lens and it'll sort of straighten it all out for you. That's
you
usually
manually do it if you needed to.
Yeah, manually doing I highly recommend doing in Photoshop. You get far more control in Photoshop to do it there. But definitely need to. I would fix that up a bit, mate. But it's a great image
because it definitely points up at this corner here. This is the section that you really notice it on more than anything around here.
And I would crop it because I like the way that it's decentered. It's original. Yeah.
I think what I meant was more so it's mirrored maybe than
it's more of a mirror image.
Mirror image from top to bottom. Yeah, nice one, Joe. I like that.
Yeah,
Trish says try auto alignment, but if you did do auto alignment, you might affect too much the other side. You're much better off just going into Photoshop and doing it directly through Photoshop.
Yeah.
I tend to in Photoshop I make like a whole complete selection. Can you see? Yeah, no, you can't see mine. I know you can see yours, can't you? If you make a whole selection of the frame and then right click on your mouse,
and
then you come up to what is it called? Transform. So you right click, you select, make a whole. So I make a new copy of your, make a new layer of your scene, select the whole entire frame, right-click on your mouse, go to transform, and then from transform, then go to distort. And on distort, if you grab the left-hand side and sort of drag it up a little bit, you should be able to correct it that way. Or you can do it in liquify. They're the two best options to do it manually in.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why I like using my loop deck in Lightroom.
I'm sorry, mate. Don't swear at us. It's not our fault you can't do it properly. And you what?
I don't need to do it properly because I just scroll a wheel and it just auto aligns it. No problem at all.
Yeah, getting all fancy on us, mate.
Yeah, you see.
Yeah. 30 minutes. Moving on.
Yeah.
Thanks for that, Joe. Great image, mate.
Yeah, great image, Joe, buddy. And actually, while we're talking about autumn colour for next month, get your images submitted to the official Outdoor Photography Guide Facebook group using the hashtag OPG Critique, and we're going to be hopefully seeing images like this, and you're just seeing this splash of colour here, and I think Tristan's here anyway. I think, he is.
Yeah, he's online.
So this is your image, Tristan. Got a lovely splash of autumn colour in that beech tree back there.
Yeah.
And there you go.
Big fan of Tristan. Do you follow Tristan on Instagram? You do?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I do.
Lovely. Yeah, he's such. What drew me to Tristan's work was like the clever way he uses, or the more natural way, in my opinion, how he edits his colors. Like he warmer in the front, cooler in the back. He really sort of emphasizes that in his shots to create, like a journey depth and using. It's very underused, isn't it? Color. Most people sort of contrast or pray for mist or fog or to sort of create that journey. Whereas I think people underestimate the power of the color.
Temperature more.
Temperature. Sorry. Yes, Tristan's very good at.
I think Tristan he utilizes lots of dodging and burning in his post processing, and when you change the illumination, so if you increase your your highlights in a certain area of the image, or you make highlights in an image that weren't there before, by doing that you actually affect the white balance and you affect the color because you're injecting contrast into the image. Or you're separating a contrast into an image. So I think in this case here, it's not a case of warm to cooler.
No,
it's about dodging and burning, and you can see he's clearly utilized a lot of dodging and burning in the immediate foreground of this image.
Yeah, it's a nice vignette there as well, I think.
Yeah, it's very subtle in the corners. Maybe not so much in the top section of the frame, which is good because then it emphasizes the amount of light coming into the scene, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's
a nice shot.
Yeah,
I like
really
it.
Nice.
I really like it. I like the grasses off to the left there. They're really nice.
Yeah, they hold you in, don't they?
And the way that the tree stump actually points you towards that tree in the frame as well. So it leads you in from that right to the left where that tree is. It's really nice. I like that.
Yeah, there's lots to like about the composition. You can see he took a lot of time to think about lots of different elements, trying to get them to work in a way. Which obviously we know it's not easy, is it? When you've got 5 or 6 elements just in your foreground, it's very hard to make all them work together, isn't it? And
it can be.
It can be, or impossible sometimes. So, I like
the way it's really good use of light, as you were saying, Matt, because as you follow, your eye follows along this fallen tree stump, it actually the light increases towards the left as well, so your eyes drawn towards that brighter point. Which in turn leads you to this tree again. Really nice.
Yes, look, there's some creative processing put into this image. There's no doubt there. It's not. It's not an out of the camera shot, is it? I mean, Tristan's definitely injected some form of light into to enhance the image, which is fantastic. I I would have liked to have maybe seen the composition a little bit more shifted to the right hand side, to maybe that trunk that is in the foreground, to maybe see the more prominent part of the trunk sort of being right in the edge of the frame. It's not exactly in the edge. It doesn't have a good diagonal line to it, does it? It's sort of more of a horizontal line, the trunk. If it was a little bit more on the diagonal sort of corner to almost center frame, it probably would have been an even more powerful image than what it is, and probably given Tristan the possibility to play even a little bit more with his highlights, because you would have a bit more of that trunk in your immediate foreground. I mean, really in your immediate foreground, right in your face. And at that stage, you could have said to yourself, well, hey, that foreground's more in my face, so why not I enhance a little bit more of the contrast to it, because they are in front of me, and really made the depth in it a little bit more stronger. Yeah?
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. If you know what it is, Tristan, if it's a local place, I would consider going back and trying that approach. I think it might be a little bit. It doesn't look like there's anything in that image that would prevent you from doing so. It would just be a little bit more of a diagonal approach with that tree trunk. Would be a lot nicer than almost horizontal as it is there.
Yeah, lovely work though. Lovely work.
Yeah, good stuff, mate.
Let's come back out of there. So again, now that we've just touched on the subject, autumn colour is going to be the theme for next month. So please submit your images to the official Outdoor Photography Guide Facebook group using the hashtag OPG Critique. Tristan says, I only use local gradients, so no brush and dodge and burn.
Wow.
Ooh, nice. Nice. And Tristan says, I've got that shot too with the fork in the tree close.
Nice.
All right. Yeah. It's
Cool.
it's interesting. It's nice there's plenty going on that deadfall.
Yeah.
I would imagine there's lots of different sort of angles you could. Yeah, nice. It's a nice scene.
It is. Right. So moving on to Darren Moorhouse's shot. Nice to see you coming on here, Darren.
Yeah, nice to see you, Darren. Shot.
And a really interesting looking scene. The rocks look amazing there.
Yeah, they do, don't they?
Bloody great location, that's for sure.
Yeah, it is. It's lovely, lovely texture in those rocks.
Yeah.
It's just compositionally, it's just, what can you...
Yeah. I'm just going to butt in just a minute because Brian says luminosity is something I am looking to learn more about. I did see Paul using it and thought it looks very interesting for subtle edits. I've joined the outdoor community. Is there any videos on this if you know?
Yeah. I've got some on there.
Yeah. If you just search up either Matt or, any of the other instructors, I'm sure there's quite a few based on that subject. I'm pretty sure there's.
I think I've got at least 2 videos on there about luminosity masking. Yeah. Yep.
Well, there you go then. Just go and search for Matt and you'll find them.
Yeah. Various techniques too, so you won't have to be stuck on one technique. I'll show you various ideas of what you can use.
Mm-hmm. I think what he was touching on, I was using Lemenzia for my luminosity masking. So
yeah, that's what I use.
Yeah.
So easy, really.
So back to this, it's got a beautiful shape about it. It almost frames that waterfall at the back. The texture of those rocks and the shape of the rocks kind of draws you in nicely to this sort of middle of the frame there. I'm circling things you can't see again, guys.
Oh, we see that.
Yeah,
you see that now.
Yeah. When you're not zoomed in, we can see it.
Yeah. So it's a really nice frame either side. That lovely shape down here kind of frames this central section really nicely.
Yeah, it's like it's obviously not a great distance from front to back, so it's nice. It's not like it doesn't feel too. Although it's a very tight and what's the word, claustrophobic sort of scene, isn't it? But it doesn't feel like that. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like
it doesn't like
too. Yeah. Yes, I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't feel too claustrophobic. Although I can imagine where he was is.
Yeah, it's quite a tight scene in
Yeah.
reality, probably.
Yeah. Obviously, I know like focal length and that makes a big difference, but yeah, it's just all about the shape, isn't it? And the journey through the image. Them rocks are nice. You got the different tones in the water to the walls, and the way the light sort of kisses and bleeds around and shows the contours is nice.
They're always a difficult shot, these kind of shots, because you always get the this section up here, which is always quite difficult to make work in an image like this. The section above the waterfall, I usually is the hardest part.
Yeah, it's always tempting sort of to crop them sort of things out, isn't it?
But it doesn't always work. That's the problem.
That's it. It doesn't work compositionally then. So
I find generally, if you can, is to make more of the fact that there's more light spilling through there.
Yeah.
And actually emphasize that light that's spilling through from the top.
Soften it.
Yeah.
Because it needs the height, doesn't it? The composition needs that height. That's kind of what I was saying, really. If that was to be cropped off to try and control them sort of brighter areas or the less interesting areas, it would feel claustrophobic, wouldn't it?
What's less interesting areas in this image?
Less interesting.
When you refer to less interesting, what is in this image that you find to be less interesting as opposed to others?
Well, what's further away? So that top of the, up the top of the bright area up there. It's not really. Although you're in iron, it gets drawn up there. It's part
of the frame. There's nothing not interesting about it. I asked that question because I don't think there's anything in it that's distracting apart from the light and the color balance. We don't have an accurate white balance in this image, which is one of the reasons why I looked at it and I thought this would be good for discussion. We've got a lot of light and it's distracting light because it's not giving us any sense of depth, is it? This light. No. It's the same throughout the whole entire scene. It's the wrong time of day. And not just that, we've got a very awkward white balance. And why do I say awkward? Because we should have cooler balances in our cooler tones or cooler white balance in our shadows and warmer in our highlights. And what's happened here is we've pretty much got a very warm color balance throughout the whole entire image. And there is shadows there.
Yeah, and the blacks in the rocks and back here there's shadow.
Yeah, but the actual rocks
here
on the floor
here.
Look at the color of them. It's very like the water is that color is very distracting. I find one thing, and cameras normally pick this up when you go and you're taking shots of waterfalls, for example, and you've got this bed of water in front of the waterfall. And people will go and take an image and they'll take it in RAW and they'll post-press it and bang and stick it out there. And all of a sudden you look at it and you think, oh, that's distracting. Why is it distracting? Because you've got this waterfall, beautiful, it's coming down. And then you've got this floor bed with water with all this warm tone coming through it. Now, water isn't that color. The mud might be at the bottom, but water should be cool, not warm. So it's the camera sensor that's tricked into believing different tones, and it's picking up probably a warm part somewhere and just making it all that. So an image like this needs selective white balance, and I think that it's very, very distracting, the light and the color to the image, and it's probably just due to the time of day. It's just knocked everything out, I think. Because it's probably a great place. It is a great place. Just needs to be taken the right time of day. When you get that first little hint of light just beaming coming through and maybe touching a bit of that waterfall in the background, even that background that you said was distracting. Imagine if just a little bit of peak of light coming through there and everything else was in the shadows.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
those cliff faces are lovely. Those rocks are lovely. The water they're running through is lovely. There's nothing distracting as an element, is there?
No.
You're going to get a problem. The problem probably with the white balance is probably a lot to do with the reflected light that's coming off those rock faces as well.
Yeah, that's why we should have full control over our raw images and be able to control the white balance ourselves later in post-production. And it's not manipulating. Remember, everybody, we use this word manipulation. It's not manipulating. It's controlling. It's controlling our raw file. So being able to extract the information out of it later on, not to manipulate, just to extract it.
Yeah.
Our eyes can see so much more than what a sensor does. So.
Of course,
why not bring back what our eyes can see,
Yeah.
Is that manipulation?
Well, this is it. It's not really, is it?
No.
Not in my eyes, no.
It's just putting it back, really, as long as you can remember what it was like.
Well, it comes down to experience of taking photos for many years and recognizing this stuff in nature's elements.
Yeah.
Sitting at a location for hours and looking at tones in water or trees or trunks or skies and being able to recognize and absorbing what you're seeing over many times being out shooting.
Yeah, definitely.
Something you get from experience.
Yeah.
So, I just want to pick up on these messages. If I can get it to do it. There we go. Brian says Brian says, so is it called selective color masking, Matt? I think he's asking.
No, there's one on there called selective color masking. That's about being able to select a color and masking it and being able to manipulate that color on its own. Like pick up a red on an isolated red and being able to change the luminosity in that red or change the saturation in that red. No, it's about actual luminosity masking. So the luminosity, the light in a certain part of an image, how to be able to grab that light and how to manipulate it.
And John Allen says, totally new to all this, so forgive the misuse of words, but love how the eyes are directed to the waterfall. Yeah, agree, John. And welcome to the critique. Josh says water can be brown, especially flowing down off a peaty mountain. Yeah, exactly, it can, especially here as well. We get the same issue.
Yeah.
Really dark coloured waters. You get that a lot in Scotland as well as you will in Ireland as well, Josh.
Oh yeah, for sure, definitely.
No, you won't get me photographing that.
No,
I just find it to be one of the most distracting things to see warm water. Just
oh well, you don't have a choice up here because that's the way it is.
Yeah, that's what I say. Just don't photograph. Just wouldn't photograph it.
Just that colour.
Yeah, I took a picture once years ago. We had some big storms. What was the last big storms we had? I always forget the names of them. Some real big ones. Like we had the Beast in the East.
Yeah.
And obviously had a lot of rain and stuff, and it was cold, and the sea was brown for weeks. And I was out shooting, and I uploaded an image, and I got loads of people sending me, "What's wrong with the water?" I was like, well, it was brown.
Yeah, just all the sediment stirred up.
Didn't look right with the way the ice was. Yeah, unusual.
Right, so just want to remind you all, next month we're going to do autumn colour. Want you to submit your images to the official Outdoor Photography Guide Facebook group using the hashtag OPG Critique. Love to see your images for that. It's going to be towards the end of the month, I would imagine, probably when we do it. So it gives you plenty of time to get your images submitted, and don't feel as though you can just put one image up. If you want to put images up throughout the whole month, that's absolutely fine. It just gives us more to work from.
Yeah, nice to have more selection, eh?
Yeah, definitely. And Josh says you should have seen the colour of the water I had to filter on my last camping trip. I bet. Right, so I'm going to go to this last image now, which is one that I picked from Nev Clark. And it's Dunsborough, Western Australia. I think that's right. Is that right, Matt?
Fucking if I know, mate.
Near enough for me.
Wow.
So that's the image there. And again, it's kind of a nice use of a frame again, eh?
Yeah. compositionally, it's very impactful foreground, eh?
Yeah.
I like the shutter speed he's used. It sort of frozen the time.
Yeah.
You can see the movement and the power in the water, which is, for me, would be important. It's not that sort of image where it's going to be slow, is it? It needs that power in the water, does it not? Do you not think?
Yeah, well, it gives more interest. I think you
got
a bit
texture,
of motion and texture about it.
It pulls the eye through a little bit easier, eh?
But just because that's, I mean, I prefer that. I prefer a bit of movement in water. I'm drawn to it. So
yeah, it's kind of like what Matt said earlier with the color. It's a funny sort of color in the sky, eh?
well, I think the sky's been darkened too much.
Yeah.
And I think you can kind of tell it's been done a bit too much because you're getting haloing around the rocks.
Yeah.
If I just bring this down again, just along this side, you're getting halos along this edge. And
they're very evident. They're very evident, aren't they?
Yeah, they're really, really in your face. So that says to me the sky's been pushed a bit too far.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you take things on a high level, when we're talking about post production, you got to be very careful, don't you?
Yeah.
Because that halo definitely stands out. I mean, I think it's a combination of it's an extremely, I suppose HD isn't the right word. We don't tend to use HD anymore, do we?
Well, HDR kind of feel
HDR.
about it, don't it?
Yeah. It's definitely taken the clarity slider to the complete right hand side, which could you probably use it in that immediate left hand corner where those few rocks are, just that little triangular area, and maybe the immediate right hand side, just to make things a little bit punchier because they're in the foreground, but immediate foreground. But then I would just let everything just subtly drift off and give. The problem is with these images like this, they do attract attention on social media for that 1 second, don't they? They're effective, and if that's what you want them for, that's they've done their job, haven't they? But
exactly.
Anyone who's going to spend a bit of time looking at the image and say, okay, well, that looks good. Let me have a look at it properly, and you start seeing things in it, and you kind of appreciate that there probably would have been a lot of atmosphere on that day, and especially by increasing the clarity so far in the image, what you've done is you've completely cut the atmosphere out of that image. That little bit of glow that might have been in that sky that might have just been kissing the sides of those rocks there to give it that little bit of atmosphere, you've just claried the buggery out of it and gotten rid of it, haven't you?
Yeah. Because that light that's actually that reflected light down on these rocks here is really, really nice. But the sky almost takes away from that now.
It does. I think this image probably would have benefited from, this location would have benefited from maybe a bit of reposition in the composition. That little, let's say, the pyramid rock in the background would have been nice to have a tad of separation, wouldn't it, from the other rocks? So you had a little bit of water around it, just that little bit of water around it. You know what I mean? Maybe just pulling your tripod up a little bit higher if possible, and giving it a little bit of water around it, just to separate it from the foreground to that itself. Otherwise, it just all seems just very bunchy up, doesn't it? But,
I know what you mean. It's almost like restricted. It's all feels like squashed slightly because you haven't got that space in between.
Yeah, but I mean, look, guys, look at those foreground rocks. Yeah, they do actually work quite well. If you just look at those alone,
they're amazing.
They're actually very, very nice. It's everything else behind the back of that's lost it.
Yeah, because the sky, the water is very cool, and turquoise, like aqua, and the sky is completely warm.
It's almost got a sepia look about the sky.
Yeah, the sky and like the sea the color, the temperatures, the color in the sea changes so much. It should match the skies to a certain degree, you know. For me, anyway, from what I've experienced shooting seascapes, is and that sea, that color on the water doesn't reflect the sky.
All right, let's fix it.
Find.
Let's fix it, Tom. All right, Paul.
Yeah.
Go into develop mode, mate. How long have we got? A few minutes?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Go up into your masking tool, your new masking tool in here. Where is it? Okay. Now, no, don't select sky. No. You just want a radial brush.
Hang on. Let me come out with that.
Bugger that off. So just go, click it again. Then go down to brush. Radial gradient, mate. No, radial gradient where you were. Sorry, because I can't see it that well. Yep, that one there. Beautiful. Make a nice big brush and center it exactly where that sun is. You see where the sun's coming up? Okay. Make it nice and big, and make it bigger, but not down the bottom there. Not so much down the bottom, sort of more horizontal. Drag it across, drag it right across, drag it across. Perfect. About there. Excellent. Yeah. Increase your exposure on it. Just your exposure. Go. Keep going on it. Don't worry. Don't worry about those highlights. It's fine. Okay. Maybe just a little bit less. Yeah, it's a little bit too much, isn't it?
Probably somewhere about stop, probably.
Yeah, about there. All right, good. Let's just bring that back. I think that's addressed it slightly, but definitely because the changes have been made, they're a little bit too destructive to the original file, aren't they? But
you're never going to get rid of all of that.
No. But just a little bit too intense. If you come up, mate, tell us what you think about that. I don't know if you're with us tonight or not, but if you're not, be good to make a discussion about it up in the Facebook group. Tell us what you think.
Yeah, definitely, because you can see that Sky's got some weird tones going on about it. So
it's just like you said, it's just been pushed a bit too far.
But I think that the scene overall is workable. It's just you'd have to kind of work on a couple of things, like giving yourself more separation and not going quite as overboard.
Because you can see like what Matt's on about on the right there. You can see where the sort of the mid-ground rock, the sort of more brown, the ready rock.
Oh, they work well. They work
well. It works.
It does.
Yeah. I love the light down here. It's great.
Yeah.
It's just a shame about that. That's the biggest spoiler.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But definitely a great location to go and practice that and have another go. That's for sure.
It's a good way to get wet feet. That's for sure. Or fall in. You'll be falling in there.
Yeah. Josh says, I can see the sharpening halos now. Could have done with a graduated filter when shot. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, the trouble is with the bad filters though is you're darkening that rock.
Yeah, you darken the rock.
I think it really just comes down to these sort of changes. If you're going to do them, you got to do them in Photoshop. You got to make a sky selection in Photoshop. Then you've got to remask that selection for the second time, and then whatever changes you make, they're going to be extremely subtle. If the sky wasn't the way on that day, just don't overdo it. Just drop the just reduce the intensity of that light just a little tiny bit, and if it doesn't work, well, it wasn't meant to be, because if you're going that transition is always going to be evident when you overdo things. There's not much you can do to make it pinpoint perfect if it wasn't natural,
Well, this is it.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, fantastic submission this month, guys. Well done on getting all these images in. There's been some fantastic images to go through, and these are just the picks that we chose to give you an idea of what our thoughts were. Not all of the shots kind of warranted talking about, because they probably wouldn't have been able to give you much information from them. It doesn't mean to say there were bad images. It's just that we're picking images here that that you're going to get some benefit from.
Yeah.
So next month, autumn color is the theme. So get your images submitted to the official Outdoor Photography Guide Facebook group using the hashtag OPG Critique. We'd love to see them for next month. Again, it's probably going to be towards the end of the month, but please just keep submitting them all month. Get them in, as many as you like, and then we can start sorting through them for next month's critique. Thanks very much for joining us, guys. We'll see you on next month's critique. Take care.
Thank you.
Cheers, fellas.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
See you
Bye.
later.